Hi folks, it's Pastor Dave from Shepherd of the Valley here with our Thursday Thoughts when we say goodbye to the gospel and the message of the week before and look forward to a new one next Sunday. Now this last Sunday we talked about the baptism of Jesus, but we also related it to the events in our nation's capital the week prior, the riots at the Congress building. And you know what? Whenever a pastor says something about politics, immediately they get pushback. You tell us pastors should not speak about these things. You know what? I have some empathy. That's how I used to operate as well. For most of my ministry, I kind of followed that rule because I knew it would upset people, and I'm certainly no expert. That said, I am here to tell you that it is time to rip that up and throw that out. And I will tell you exactly why. And these are some realizations that have just come to me lately, some as late as just this week. When terrible things are done, when radical things happen, two things are needed in order to keep them going. First is the people who actually do them, and second is the group of people who throw a blanket over anyone who would speak up in objection. Now, some appeal to patriotism, some appeal to philosophy, others say things like, you know what, you shouldn't talk about that. Here's the reality, and it's one I said last Sunday. Right here in this town, there were preachers from pulpits speaking exactly about this stuff who got no pushback. And you know why? Because those were the voices that agreed with it. And their congregation, who also agree with the radicalism, basically say, yay, speak louder. So everyone who agrees with the awfulness gets told to speak up, and everyone who disagrees with it gets told to be quiet. And that is the environment in which terrible things breed. It is time to say no. No, I will not be silent. Yes, I have a voice, and yes, our faith informs us about these things, and our faith does not say that self-interest and destruction and provincialism and prejudice are holy. It says the opposite, and we will not be quiet about that now or ever, because to do that would be to let the forces of wrongness stand unopposed. I tend to live by a certain rule when I talk about these things, when I process this feedback. When a person agrees with what I'm saying, they don't call it politics. They call it truth or faith or whatever is appealing to them. When someone disagrees with what I'm saying, then it's called politics. So when you say, pastors shouldn't speak about political stuff, what the majority of people really mean is, a pastor should never tell me that he or she or God ever disagrees with my politics. And I'm sorry, that's a standard that cannot apply to any of us, because none of us are perfect politically or otherwise. And saying that phrase makes an idol out of our own beliefs and convictions, and an idol out of our own political views that supersedes and steamrolls whatever faith God is trying to speak to us. So I'm sorry. No, we cannot live by that rule anymore, particularly in this time and place when only the most awful people appear to have the loud public voice. You and I must stand up and say, enough. Enough terribleness, enough divisiveness in the name of being self-centered, enough of this madness. Instead, compassion, love, faith, community, and listening to each other. These things are what matter. And about these things, we will never be silent. That's it for today. You can join us again on Sunday when we read in the Gospel of John about Jesus finding some of his first disciples.